Hey everybody, so today I'm going to share, this is going to be a little bit shorter than the other videos I've done because this is just kind of well, it's a short. And this is a interesting window into basically the complete inability of Daisy and her mother to be able to communicate in any meaningful way. And you'll see how that plays out when we walk through this. I was going to open this video up a little bit more and make it more about, adding more about what happened with her kids, how she treated them. I decided I'm just going to kind of keep this more close to the bone here as far as just watching this video. Um, she obviously does not have a good relationship with her mother. Her mother is currently protecting her two boys. They all have restraining orders against Daisy. The daughter is with an adoptive family. I think she's 6 or 7. The boys are now teenagers. And I have seen these are videos that are long gone. I have seen videos that she has taken. Some of the very first things that I watched was her repeatedly trying to get into the apartment to see her boys. And they never opened the door to her. You could see her standing there, like with gifts that she had brought. And you can hear the boys saying, like, get the fuck out of here. You can actually hear them behind the door. There was also another video, which I don't know is on is available anymore, but it was somebody else who had driven Daisy down to help her out at the time, helping her out to see the kids. And it ended up in Daisy's arrest, actually. They called the police. She was trying to get into, the apartment. And it's interesting because you can hear how Daisy just switches so quickly and this is where you just really got to watch it, because she can play like this very sweet, innocent, kind of, I just want to, full of love, and then just like that, start to get, pissy and angry and on edge. And you could hear the tone in her voice change in this video when one of the boys would not open the door. She says, well, let me talk to grandma then. But then she was getting, it was like whatever love, I guess, that can really just switch off into this anger, like immediately. And I remember, like, wow, just taking note of this stuff. And as I watch these other videos come on down the line over the years, not much has changed. So I'm just going to say that, yeah, Daisy and her mother, there's a lot of question marks with Daisy's past, and what happened in her family, and whether she got the support that she should have gotten at a time where she says all these things happened to her. It's hard for me to really talk much about that because we don't know. Nobody knows. Daisy knows, mother knows, but we don't know because we are just spectators to partial information, really. So I'm just going to step ahead into this video. We're going to watch it just as is, okay, because there is stuff to learn in this video. So this is her on the phone with her mom.
Take my kids or cause problems. Nobody thinks that. Yeah, I just want to. I need to ask you a question. Are you streaming this? No, absolutely not.
Okay, did you hear that? She just lied to her mother about whether she was streaming this or not. Her mom's asked, are you live streaming this? Well, the answer should always assume that you're being recorded. If you're talking to Daisy or hanging around her, there's always going to be a record of it. So do you see how easily she lied? No, I'm not. Just look at her. She's an actor. What an actress, huh? So already this conversation she's having is disingenuous because it's not even on the level. She's not even meeting her mom on the level here. She's happily lying to her.
I'm not. Streaming is a problem. The boys sometimes see things and it really upsets them. I told you that I was going to make this really famous.
Okay, here she goes. Okay. Her mother is giving her some golden keys, okay? If she really wants to co-parent, which isn't going to happen, we know that, but if she wants to see her kids, have any kind of contact, you've got to listen to your mother is the gatekeeper, okay? She just told you something important about how your kids are feeling, about how you're acting. And immediately, it's like she doesn't even listen. Well, she listens, and then instantly it's the big defense. Because, like I said, there really is no real communication going on here between her and her mother. And she's going to launch into all about her and what she's doing and the righteousness of her speeches and
I was going to put myself
her
in the spotlight because I needed to be able to see my kids. And after being ridden hard through the courts, I realized that this isn't just happening to me, it's happening to a lot of people.
See, so this is, we're way off on another tangent, which happens all the time. And I am of the opinion, I suppose, well, it's very difficult for Daisy to carry on an actual conversation where you listen, you know, she talks, you listen. This just doesn't happen. Because her mother just told her something extremely important. Now we're talking about how she's gathering other people, basically stacking the deck. There's a lot of other people that are suffering the way I am at the hands of horrible people like you that are protecting my kids. And, you know.
And I'm happy that because of my work and my ability to articulate, I was able to navigate the courts and use the courts to help me. However, not everyone is able to do that, and parental alienation is not okay.
Okay, well, abusing your kids is not okay. That's the main thing. There's no discussion of that whatsoever. There's zero accountability here. It's all what I've been deprived of, how I'm the victim, connecting with other victims, and an army of victims. It's completely a one-sided, and we know this. This is not new news. I'm just pointing it out to you as I watch this video. She's not. She may listen, but then the whole thing always just off on ramping up into the stratosphere because with her own stuff.
Of my whole philosophy and the work that I've done, I'm a published author. I created.
She's talking about her book. Her mother just said something very, very important about her children that she has cried about, wailed about, gets into tears over. She misses them. She wants to see them. She's got these, fantasies of we're all going to get together and we're going to co-parent. They'll come over here to the homeless, apartment that I have. And she just completely rides. She just, bulldozed right over what her mother said. Now we're off on, I wrote a book.
The 5 steps of global liberation. And that's what I go and I do my speeches about. And you're watching someone who's learning how to do speeches. I've been doing it for years, but I'm getting better and better. I still have a lot to learn.
Yeah, what does this have to do with your kid? Like, now that he's a teenager and, when you're that age, you're opening up, your mind is opening up and you're seeing things, in a bigger way. What does any of this have to do with how your children are reacting to you? It's just diversion.
I'm not the greatest public speaker, but I'm going to be, and I'm going to keep working on it. And if I'm embarrassing because I'm learning something new, then I'm sorry.
No, that's not what embarrasses them. It's the extreme stuff, and it's the...
Well, it's extreme that I'm being alienated from my kids.
Talking about sex and talking about your boobs and things like that. But...
So I'm being judged. I have
no doubt that Chris is hiding a lot of pain and fear, and this is his protective mechanism.
I want the alienation to stop.
Look at it. Didn't even acknowledge anything that her mother just said. I don't think she's capable of connecting. Look, her big theme is empathy. Give me empathy. I need empathy, buddies. Give me. Of course, it's always giving her empathy for her pain, the stuff that she, is dealing with. And there's you see this? No acknowledgement at all of what her mother just said. These are golden keys into the psyche. These are little, openings of doors where you could possibly, sit and discuss things, acknowledge, take accountability. But instead, it's all about Daisy.
The caregivers, which is you and the other adults, are the ones who are doing it. If you repaired the relationship with
Okay,
me,
see, that's all the mother's fault, repairing the relationship. But you know what, Daisy? Sometimes you got to come to the table too. It can't 100% be, and we've seen her when she goes and yells at all the people behind the counter. It's always they have to accommodate her all the time with everything. Um, and she's not willing to uh, have a really look at it. It's tough, tough. You got to sit down and say, you know what? Even apologies. I don't know if I've ever heard her apologize for anything. Certainly not when it comes to this. It's all that the mom has to come and do repair work. But it's going to be this weird thing where Daisy controls everything, and it's not going to work. It doesn't work. Daisy doesn't know how to be a therapist. There was a video, long gone, all these things are to the wind. She was trying to lead a repair work session with Prince, which was one of the most painful things uh, that I've watched in this whole series, whole collection.
your daughter, and if you and I repaired the relationship, that would be a start. But your unwillingness to do that and
Well, maybe part of the unwillingness is you too.
continuing to
Maybe.
call the police and make me out to be a threat when I'm not.
Well,
When
I
you
didn't call the police. I'm not the one who called the police.
I don't want to have an argument about who called the police, but I'm
Anyway,
letting.
I have to go, Lindsay. I'm rocking into work.
So this is what I don't.
Information on
Her mom just hung up on her. Well, I mean, it could have, if she didn't end that conversation, it would have gone on forever. It would, I mean, it just would have gone on for, possibly hours. All right, I lied. Yeah, that's right. I'm learning something from Daisy here. I'm learning how to lie because I said I was going to keep this video a little shorter, and then here I am. I'm interjecting something. I more kind of just changed my mind because I feel this is important enough to just put on this particular video. And this is it. This is what I'm going to say. All right. We know that Daisy she steadfastly has stuck to the claims that she was molested by her grandfather and that the grandfather actually impregnated some like girls, nannies, or whatever when they were living in South America. I know she was in Costa Rica too, but the point is that the grandfather, according to the stuff that she says that happened to her, uh, was doing all this stuff up until like Daisy was a teenager, from the time she was a little girl. And what she's saying is that her family, including her mother, there was never any. They wouldn't believe her. Okay, so this just continued, unabated and unchecked, and nobody listened to Daisy. And I guess I should say these alleged claims that this happened because nobody is going to know 100% for sure. I tend to believe her on this. Um, and here's the thing. Let's say I believe it. I believe that something may have very well happened that changed her life forever, and affected her in ways that we are still seeing today. I don't think, I mean, this shit happens to people. It does. Now, I'm also up to facts being corrected. If there's something new that comes up, I want to know the truth. I don't want to be right. I want to know the truth. So here's what I'm going to say about this. Why I think this is important to include this is, let's say her mother kind of ended up contributing to this by not protecting Daisy. Okay, is that really at the core that Daisy was a victim, a very little child that could not defend herself, and terrible things happened to her? Did not get the support. Did not. I mean, her father wasn't around. He was busy, with his career. And she had even made mention that he had made an inappropriate comment to her one time. I don't know that it really went any farther than that, but that is one thing that she did say. But she basically did not really have a relationship with her father. So there was no father protecting her. And according to her, her mother was not protecting her and getting her out of a bad situation. Maybe her mom, because of how they were living, it was a great lifestyle. He was an important man. There's video of them all meeting Ronald Reagan. This really happened. Her mom didn't want to rock the boat. I don't know. Maybe she had her own issues. Daisy's gone into that. Here's the thing. If we accept, okay, that all of this happened and that a lot of Daisy's pain and the way she is, also her dad was an addict himself, so there's the addiction stuff that can be inherited. Well, let's say some of this is because her mom didn't take care of her, didn't protect her, didn't get her away. She had to, deal with this on her own. She's still got a lot of anger towards her mom. That anger was taken out on her kids. Daisy took her anger out on her own kids. And now, she loves the kids, she says she loves them, and in order to have a relationship with the kids, she's got to deal with her mother, which would be the source of her pain and anger. So let's just say for a second, this is all true. Okay, this is the dynamic loosely that we're dealing with. Daisy's anger towards the mom, taking it out on the kids. Mother has to protect the kids. So we're all kind of in this boat together here. And in order for Daisy to have, connection in her kids' lives, she's got to deal with the person that caused her the most pain in her life. Well, one of the most pain, the grandfather, too. How would you get through this? Because every time the mother tries to talk to her and explain about somebody else not feeling so great, Daisy just completely, dominates the conversation. She can't stop. It's always got to, because everything, I guess her pain is so great. The brokenness is so great that she can't hear anybody else. And she, really hurt her kids, and animals too, abusive to animals. So how would you repair this? It's an interesting question. I don't necessarily know the answers, but I would think that, somehow, she and her mother have to, kind of push this shit aside and focus on making the kids. I mean, that's really the most important thing is that the kids have to be safe, taken care of, and it's just not, according to the mom and what we've seen is, the internet exists. The kids are going to see the videos, and they're going to know more and more as they get older. They're going to, know more and more about what's happening. I don't know. This is sort of the whole thing. If we accept that her history, as she has told it, is correct, it's a difficult thing. It would require a tremendous amount of maturity on Daisy's side to negotiate, deal with, and move ahead with what happened in her past in order to put her children first. And I don't see that she is anywhere near that happening. And I don't think it ever will. I don't. But that's it. So if you have any comments about that scenario, uh, leave them below. And I do appreciate your comments. It's great. Actually, a lot of good feedback, a lot of intelligent and civil and interesting comments here. So that's where I'm going to leave you, and that is all for now. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.